Hola, family. Hola. We're live. I'm doing something I've never done before. It took a minute to get this together. We are now together, and we have a bomb.com teaching for us today. Bomb.com. Like I said, doing something I've never done before. And I'm pulling up, first of all, let me start off by saying, hola, because I'm in Merida, Mexico. I am in Mexico. So I gotta say hola, welcome, 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 welcome. You're on Witchy Wednesday for Christian Witches. And I'm Reverend Valerie Love, also known as Kaisi, a Christian witch, practicing Christian witch. And I'm here to serve you today. We are on Facebook, even though we don't interact on Facebook as much anymore. Since I left Facebook, we still have a community on Facebook, which is so beautiful. And hey, Cecilia, how you loving? We have the YouTube channel, Valerie Love YouTube channel at ValerieLoveTV.com. And we have on tap the Christian Witches YouTube channel. We are live all these places. And OMG, I'm happy. Hey, Cecilia. Hey, Darla. Hey, family. By the way, when I finish here today, I'm going to be live on Instagram as well. I got something so delicious to show y'all. So if the technology cooperates with us, I have something so delicious to show you. But, you know, technology does not always cooperate. But I'm hoping that it cooperates today because it's so good. Danielle. Hey, it's Witchy Wednesday. Now, first of all, let me share with y'all what the Queen of Wands got for me yesterday. Look what the Queen of Wands did. Do you believe? Look at these. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that? Sunflowers, straight from the Queen of Wands. Good gravy, straight from the Queen of Wands. How you love your family? Come on in, come on in, come on in, family. So, what are we talking about today? We're talking about the missing gospels. That's what we're talking about today. We're talking about the missing gospels. And I'm going to do something that I've never done before on Witchy Wednesday. Come on in, come on in, come on, come on, come on, come on. I am going to share with you straight from my Canva. And I've never done that before. Ooh, Jen, how you loving? I've never done that before, so maybe I have. I don't quite recall. Anywho, we have a lot to cover today in a very short period of time, and it's gonna be amazing. Bring out your grimoires. Christian witches, get your grimoires, your magical journals, your books. We have a ton of information to cover. Happy Witchy Wednesday, Christina. How you loving? Tag all your Christian friends. Lori, how you loving? Oh my God, bright blessing from Florida. I love it. Tag all your Christian friends. Tag all your peeps. Tag everyone. Bring them on and let them know that we are talking all about the missing gospels, the Bible. Love from Lubeck, Maine. Love it. Scott, is it freezing cold up there, Scott? I don't know. Is it freezing cold up there? Anyway, smash up the likes. Remember to subscribe at ValerieLoveTV.com or subscribe on the Christian Witches channel. The Christian Witches channel is almost at 2,000 subscribers. Subscribe. Oh, my God. To the Christian Witches channel. We love the Christian Witches channel. So go ahead and subscribe to the Christian Witches channel. And let's get her over 2,000 today. Let's get Christian Witches over 2,000. Sarah! Albany, New York. Oh, look, my witches. Oh, my witches is everywhere. Come on, witches. Oh, look at my witches everywhere. Could y'all shout out for us in the chat what kind of witch you are? Can you shout it out? Are you a Christian witch, eclectic, Wiccan, Catholic Wicca? Can you shout out Crystal Pagan? Can you shout out what your practice is so we can all learn and grow? We want to know what's your practices. Let me know. Let us know. Let the family know. Okay, so I'm going to bring up what we're talking about today. And as you can see, Christian. I'm a Christian witch. I know that's right, Sarah. Come on, hunty. Catholic witch. Ooh, rocky road. Y'all are making me so happy. Druid, eclectic, crystal pagan. Come on, Andrea. Ooh, baby. Talking to the right people today, baby. Oh my God. I'm talking to the right people. Okay, I think I'm going to do something a little different. I think I'm going to um, see if I can download my thingy thing because it's taking a little bit of time to come up. So while it's coming up, tell us about you. Tell us about you, your practice. And Christo Scott is a Christic Druid pagan. Wow. I have never heard that before. A Christic, am I saying it right? Christic or Christic? Christic Druid pagan. You know, it's very fascinating about the Druids. Are the Druids Celtic, Scott? Are the Druids Celtic? Or are they otherwise? Marlo, how you loving? Alma, driving home, but listening, I love it, Alma. Come on, family. I'm wondering, Scott, Facebook, how you loving? Christian Witches on Facebook. Look, Christian Witches all over the world. People who are Christ-like and magical. People who love Christ consciousness and love what the teachings and the gnosis of Christ is all about. We are Celts. Look at that. I thought so. You know what's very fascinating about this, Andrea and Scott? I hope I'm saying your name right. I don't know if it's Andrea or Andrea. Let me know. You want to know what's so fascinating about this? When I did my genealogy, turns out I am 5% Scottish. Family, when you do your genealogy, you're going to see, first of all, you're going to see everyone's a mutt. I'm a mutt. Everyone's a mutt. And, oh my God, okay, good, Andrea. And I discovered why I was always drawn to Celtic path. Like, everything Celtic is always just, it was a draw, it was a resonance. Now, I was not drawn to the Norse. I don't touch runes. I've never touched runes. I just knew that wasn't for me. It's like parallels over here. It's like a neighbor, but they told me that's not for me. Tarot, yes, straight to tarot. Like, Celtic, sure. And I had a conversation with a Druid, and I've got to interview him on the YouTube channel. When you hear this Druid's conversation, his story about how he went to, I think it was Scotland, Isle of Man, maybe? Is Isle of Man in Scotland? Let me know. He went to where his ancestors called him, and he had to have a sword made. Oh, the story is amazing. It is amazing. That's part of my heritage as well as the Vikings. Very interesting. Third German, third Welsh, third Scot, Nordic. That's amazing. Because what I was looking at, when I looked at the magic of these systems, I saw that the Celts, the Celtic tradition of the Scottish people were right next to their neighbors. They have the Nordic neighbors who are the Norse, of course, Odin and the runes and all of that, right next door to each other. Yet I was never called to the runes and the Norse path, yet the Celtic path was like strumming in myself. And when I did my genealogy, I realized why. Because the magic is in your blood. It is in your blood. Heritage. Oh, I love it, Danielle. I love it. Okay, what are we talking about today? Let's go into it. This is what we're talking about today. We're talking about, in the series, Christians, you've been lied to. We are getting to the bottom of Christianity, the origins of Christianity, and what it means for humanity, and what it means for your spiritual path, and what it means for us as Christian witches when Christians tell you, you can't do magic and be a Christian, when basically in the beginning of Christianity, everyone was doing magic, right? Everyone was doing magic. Hold on. So, no. We're not with that, right? We're not with that. We are understanding that we are on a spiritual path, and we are understanding that magic is an integral part of Christianity. Christ was a high order magician. As a matter of fact, he was arrested for being a sorcerer. Look it up. He was arrested and tried for being, not tried, he was arrested for being a sorcerer and inciting our people to worship other gods with an S. That's why he was arrested, okay? Oh my goodness, my paternal line is Celtic and my maternal DNA is mysterious North African line. Ooh, even though I am as white as one can be. Maybe not, Scott. You and me could be distant cousins. Maybe not as white as can be. You might be like Martin said, a victim of the swirl. You may have a little swirl in there. I think all of us got a little swirl going on. So that unites us, right, in one family. I'm a cosmic serpent reptilian. Wow. That's amazing. This is amazing. All right, family. So what we come to understand is that when Christians say things to you about magic has nothing to do with Christianity, about thou shalt not suffer a witch to live, about the Bible, they start quoting scriptures and going in on you, but you don't really know what to say to them or how to move forward. I'm here to bring true education, research, and truth to the story. I'm not here to perpetuate beliefs. I'm not here for beliefs. I'm a minister, I'm an ordained minister of spiritual consciousness, practicing an initiated Christian witch, and the founding teacher of the Covenant of Christian Witches Mystery School known as CCW. We initiate Christian witches on this path. We have no doctrine, no dogma, there's no religion. There is simply following your spiritual journey. Okay, that's what it's about. It's about following your spiritual journey. Okay, let me see if we can get this to be how I want it to be, because apparently it's not doing what I want it to do. Oh, open presenter view. Maybe that's it. Good Lord. Sheesh. Shouldn't be this challenging to do things. Could just be my brain. Come on, it's not challenging to do these things. It's a simple Canva presentation, but Canva made something special and I've never seen it before, so I'm figuring it out as I go. Thank you, family, for your patience. Now, what are we looking at today in this series? Christians, you've been lied to, okay? Into full screen mode, okay? Alma, I'm drawn to the Greek pantheon, but was told I can't use those deities because I'm brown. I say boo to that nonsense. Boo, baby, boo. Hey, Kathy, how you living? Alma, that would have been the thought that could have stopped me from pursuing or looking into my Celtic experience. And yet, nope, it did not. Because my Celtic experience tells me that I am Scottish. It's in my blood. It's in my DNA. And therefore, you can do it. And even if it wasn't in your blood and DNA, if your spirit guides, your spirit team, the spirit that rules your head, also known as an Orisha, holy guardian angel, your head spirit, higher self, every tradition talks about something that is over your head, right? Guardian angel, whatever you want to call it. This, Lord, no, they lied to everyone else. Robert, you know I'm about to go in, or I'm about to go in with numbers, facts, and figures, okay? This is for the Christians. Share it with them. I love Christians. I love Christ. I don't follow a religion. I follow a spiritual path laid down by Christ, not a church. So as long as your spirit team comprised of your higher self, angels, or it could be Orishas, right? Head spirit, higher self, Orisha, guardian angel, and magic, holy guardian angel, HGA. As long as your higher self, your angels, your spirit guides, and very importantly, your enlightened ancestors, and God, this is all in concert. They're leading the dance with regard to your spiritual growth and progression. You're not just picking things willy-nilly, you're picking things for a reason. So if you're drawn to a cross, you're drawn to a cross for a reason. You see, my people have a long line of Christ. They're connected with Christ, yet we're not these overzealous Jesus freaks that knock you in the head with the Bible. Stop that. I used to do that. It wasn't fun. Let's go into I want to give us an understanding of what happened to these missing gospels. Please call all your Christian people here. Call everybody here. Woo! Money in the vortex already. Yes! Money in the vortex. on YouTube. Thank you, Kathy. Let's go in, family. Now, I want to set us up with a good timeline. Take screenshots of this video. Rewatch this video. Watch this video with your friends and your cousins and your children. We must understand what I'm about to tell you. First, let's go back to Jesus' birth. About 4 BC is what the experts tell us. And he died somewhere between 30 and 36 AD. Okay, BC before Christ, AD Anno Domini in the year of our Lord. AD also means CE, CE means Common Era, right? So I'm using this terminology, AD Anno Domini in the year of our Lord. That explains why I'm drawn to the Egyptian so strongly. Me too. Oh my God, it's in your current, it's in your stream. Okay, this is reflected in Kabbalah too. Absolutely, absolutely. So what do we have here? We have Christ was born somewhere. Here's where our story begins, boys and girls. Christ was born 4 BC. And as we know, it flipped from 1 BC and then it went to 1 AD. There's no 0 year, okay? And he died somewhere between 30 and 36 AD. Now, some people are very hard on the number 33, so we can call it 33, okay? We'll split the difference between 30 and 36. The exact minute or hour, well, that still I don't think it's been conclusively beyond all shadow of a doubt determined. However, we do know what it is on a spiritual basis. Now, there were no gospels when Jesus was on the planet. I'm going to say this again. Because we just somehow think, this is what I used to think as a Christian anyway, that the Gospels, well, they're the Bible. They've been around forever. And so Jesus was doing something, and somebody was sitting there with a pen and writing it down. And Jesus rose somebody from the dead, and they wrote it down. And Jesus healed the blind, and they wrote it down. That was not happening. That's not happening. That's not how it happened. And people don't even understand where the Bible came from. And I think if you're going to read this amazing book, and I do think it's amazing, it's full of magic. I do think it's amazing to read the Bible. It would be good to understand where the Bible came from and what is the book you hold in your hands. And is what you hold in your hands the whole story? And if not, where's the rest of the story? So, when did the first gospel appear? Do you see the timeline here? The first gospel appeared somewhere around 70 AD. And what was that first gospel that they can trace back to 70 AD? The Gospel of Mark. Well, Kaisi, what happened between here? This is Jesus. And here's the first gospel. What happened? I'll tell you what happened. Here's what happened. The oral tradition. People couldn't read and write. You cannot take your 21st century brain into the first century and expect for these things to make sense. That's not how it worked. Now everyone can read. Now it's sort of I don't want to say a blemish, but it's sort of looked down upon if you can't read, if you're illiterate, or people try to help you if you're illiterate, because we understand that illiteracy is not helpful. You need to be able to read the contracts and things that are in front of you. You want to read what's going on. Well, people couldn't read. Everyone was illiterate except for the wealthy class, the dukes and the duchesses and the priests. Pretty much and if you were wealthy enough, there were no books, there were scrolls, and they were making things with papyrus, or however you want to call it. No one was sitting there watching everything Jesus was doing and writing it down. That's kind of what I had in my mind. I don't know, what did y'all have in your mind about how this whole Bible was cobbled together? Well, I don't know. I guess some really smart people put the Bible together. But I never went into detail to find out exactly how did this whole thing come together. Well, I'm telling you that story today so that we come to the understanding of where are the missing gospels and how to find them and how to access them and how to use them in your life. So let me ask you a question. If from 33 AD, let's say Jesus died in 33 AD, all the way to 70, this is close to 40 years. Yay, Central! It's Witchy Wednesday, Central. I love it. This is close to 40 years. Can I ask you a question? If they were telling stories about Jesus for 40 years, do you think all those stories are accurate? We don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand that if they were telling these stories for 4 decades before anything was written down about Yeshua ben Joseph, right? Yeshua, the son of Joseph, you can understand that we probably were not getting the exact facts of the story. Now, I am not saying that we're not, this explains why all four of the Gospels say four different things. Now, I'm not saying that they're lying. They're not. And I'm not saying that the Bible's not true. I'm not. I love the Bible. Trips to India, absolutely, Scott. And his Egyptian training and his Egyptian life. What I'm saying is that you must understand that the wording and the particulars and a lot of these things that are in the Bible, you cannot call them gospel truth. You must go with the spirit of what it's conveying to you. This is energy. David Guillaume, who is a powerful Kabbalah teacher, said the Bible is a manual of energy, teaching you the DNA of energy and how to use energy. But people are taking it literally. Now, even if you take it literally and people were telling the story for 40 years, do you think the story changed in 40 years? Just put it in the chat. Do you think the story changed at all in 40 years? I'm sure of it. The story changed in the first year. 40 years. Now, this is a book that people fight over. They fight over the Bible. I don't know how we got to fighting over the Bible. People do. Now let's go further. So we do understand nothing written down for 40 years, decades, right? Yes, God, isn't that beautiful that if you take the Bible as a metaphysical book, an allegorical book, changes every 40 seconds, right? Oh, but the church folks, they will read it word for word and they'll try to execute it word for word. And that is scary. It's very scary. The Bible's not meant to be taken literally. As a matter of fact, another teacher of mine said, anyone who takes the Bible literally is a fool. And this is a rabbi that's been studying these ancient texts for decades. And that would be true. The Bible is metaphysical. It's magical. It's mystical. It's allegorical. It's astrology. It's metaphor. It's allegory. It's all of these things. It's prophetic. It's all energy. Let's go further. Let's go to the next thing. So now we understand nothing written down for 40 years. Now let's go to fast forward to the year 200. Hey, Tammy, how you loving, beautiful? How you loving? So good to see you. So now let's fast forward. And if you joined us and you haven't seen the beginning of the video, be sure to go back and watch the entire video all the way through. And I want you to absolutely get your notes and write this down. This is critical. This is critical for anyone who reads the Bible, anyone who loves Christ, anyone who wants to understand where did the Bible come from and where are the missing gospels, because there are a lot of missing gospels. So let's fast forward to the year 200. Well, by the time, so we said the first gospel appeared around 70 AD. By the time we get to 200 AD, how many gospels do we have? 50. We had 50 gospels. Now, I don't think most Christians could even fathom 50 gospels or more. When I last looked at the list, it was a very long list of gospels that I had never heard of before. I don't think any, and I'm going to show you a list of gospels that I don't think, wait to the end. I'm going to actually show you a list of gospels, and I would wager that probably no one here is present that has heard of all of these gospels. Okay. If you have 50 gospels, what does this mean? It means you have at least 20, 30 groups of Christians. This is the other thing that Christians do not understand. The Christianity you have today is not what Christ did. And that is provable by a little bit of simple research. I'm not saying anything that you can't research for yourself. Please don't believe me. I'm not in the belief business. I'm in the truth business. Okay? And truth isn't even a business. It's just truth. And I'm the kind that wants to know it all. I want all the secrets to the universe. And God said, ask and it is given, seek and you shall find, knock and the door will be open to you. So that's what I just keep doing. I just keep knocking, asking, and seeking. What more is there? And I always find more. Is there more? Yes. Well, can I know it? Yes. Anyone can know it. I'm not special. Yet, do you want to do the hard work? Most people are lazy. It would be very easy to go to the pastor every Sunday, just sit there. Yes, pastor, preach. The pastor's doing all the work. What are you doing? Sitting in there. Amen. You're in the amen corner. No, 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 no. The pastor did all the work, studying and so forth and so on, so the pastor could feed you. That's beautiful. You're supposed to study to show yourself approved as well. So now, what do we now have? The Eastern Orthodox Church presented, I preserved a few of them, but they have their own biases and problems. Yes, they do. All the groups have their own kind of biases. Now, while all these different pockets of Christianity were kind of forming and brewing and bubbling and percolating from Christ, because we understand Christ died 33. So now we fast forward 100 and some odd years after Christ, about 100. Hey, Michelle, how you loving? So here we are about 170 years after Christ. What do we have in the year 200 AD? We have 50 Gospels, and we have many different kinds of Christianity. Do not think there was just one Christian church all the way up to when Martin Luther put the letter on the Catholic Church and started the Protestant Reformation. Lord, you stop. Robert, I should have done a warning. Let me do a warning. Many things I say in this video will rustle the feathers of many people sitting upon the pews right now, whose big booties is on pews right now. Yes, many of the things that I say will be revolting, will be construed as an attack, will be denied, will be, and here's the ones I'm talking to. The ones like you that are like, tell me more. That's why I'm here for. I'm here for the ones like you that are laden in like, what else is there? That's what I'm talking to. I'm not talking to the ones that are not ready for this, because your mind got to be somewhere to be ready for it. You've got to be ready. Now let's go further. If you have this pocket of Christianity over here, and this pocket of Christianity over here, and this kind of Christianity over here, and this kind of Christianity over here, and this kind of, let's say you have 20 different kinds of Christianity. Wow. You have 50 Gospels. You have many different teachers. Wow. Well, what's going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. In comes, let's go to the next phase of it. So that's the first 200 years of Christianity. You have no church. You have pockets of many different flavors of Christianity, which is beautiful. Let's fast forward to Constantine. Now I'm giving you an abbreviated timeline because we don't have 10 hours to be on one video, okay? Sister, you're my Shaka Khan. I love it. Baby, this is my lane. I love this. I love it. I eat this for breakfast, okay? And the book is coming. Christians, you've been lied to. And you know what I find very fascinating? I find fascinating that the witches are coming for the church. Woo! Didn't see that coming. Plot twist. Didn't see that the witches would be coming for the church. Plot twist. Okay, let's move forward. I must go now, but I wanted to come on and say hello. I'll go back and watch and enjoy the rest of your day. Yay, Linda! Absolutely. Okay, now let's go further. Emperor Constantine. We heard the story about Emperor Constantine. He had a dream, saw a cross, won the war. If you don't know about Emperor Constantine, this conversation is not really about him. It's about getting to the bottom of these 50 plus missing Gospels that are not in the Bible. How come they're not in the Bible? And what can we do about it? So Constantine, he had this incredible conversion. He was an emperor, Roman emperor. He had this incredible conversion to Christianity. Well, when he had the conversion to Christianity, he looked around. He saw all these different kinds of Christians, all these different kinds of pagans. He was like, we're not getting nowhere like this. We're just all over the place. You know, that's what he was saying. We're all over the place. Well, what's Christian? You know, he probably newly converted. Well, what do we do? Well, we do this. And another group said, well, we do this. And another group said, well, we do this. And another group said, well, we do this. Like anything is when it first begins. The internet was like this when it first begins. Everything is like that when it first begins until it congeals and works. And people don't understand the molding, the shaping of things over years. We're talking 300 years after Christ, and people still didn't know what we do. People still didn't know what we do. Isn't that the truth, Heather? The truth sets you free, but first it pisses you off. Okay, so now let's go further. He's like, well, wait a minute. I'm a Christian, but I don't kind of really know what to do. Y'all are saying pray this prayer. Y'all are saying to do this. Y'all are saying to do this. No, all these groups, all these. So he said, Emperor Constantine was thinking, I can't take over everybody if they all believe in different things. Here goes the mind of a person who wants world domination, not a person who wants to save your soul and help you spiritually. This is a person who wants to control you and bring everything under the Holy Roman Empire, which is still existing today as the Catholic Church with the Vatican, with their own military, and they are in a nation state. Most people don't know that. The police cannot even go on the Vatican grounds, okay? They're their own nation state. And what's under that Vatican? Oh my God. You would be shocked and horrified. Anyway, that's another story for another day. We're not picking apart the Vatican today. That's a whole nother story for another day. I have been wondering about this. Where do I go for research? Oh, I'm about to tell you at the end of this video, okay? Now, Emperor Constantine, he sees all this confusion. He sees everybody is all over the place. Nothing's really congealing. It's not all coming together. So this is what he decides. I'm going to bring all the bishops together from all far-flung parts of, all around Christendom is what they called it, right? I'm going to bring all these bishops together, and we're going to convene, and we're going to get in one room, and we're going to figure this thing out. Like, what do we believe? Well, guess what? That's what he did. And that was called the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD. So can you see that this happened 300 years after Christ passed? 300 years. Okay? What's in the Vatican? Oh my God. What's not in the Vatican? Wow, that's a whole nother conversation for another day. I'm going to break down what's in the Vatican. Now, the Council of Nicaea. Here come the bishops with the big pointy hats. Pardon how I tell stories. I'm very irreverent. Here come the bishops with the long, big pointy hats and the long robes and all of that. Fancy schmancy, big gold crosses, all of that, while the people starve. But never mind that, because we have to be fancy, because God needs us to be fancy. Whatever. Jesus never said that. But anyhow, they all come together in a room and they come up with, well, what do we believe? And one bishop said, we need to make Jesus, like all these people love him. Yeah, they all love him. Well, we need to make him into a god, like Mithras. Like it worked with Mithras. We need to make him read 16 crucified saviors and you will understand more about what I'm talking about. And Constantine was like, ooh, bishop, that's a good one. That's a good one. Write that down. Who's writing it? And somebody was there, the little scribe, writing things down by the little candlelight. We believe now that Jesus is God. Yeah, Jesus is God. That's a good one. They'll definitely will get a lot of people with this because people love him. So let's say, Scott, you love my irreverent Scott, right? And yes, Ujo Wajat, the Vatican, that's a whole series, right? Okay, so yeah, we believe Jesus is God. Yeah. Okay, what else? Let's make it. It's three. It's God, it's Jesus, and it's the Holy Ghost. It's all three, and it's together, and it's a mystery. We'll call it the Trinity. Oh, that sounds good. Because people always go for three, right? Like Egypt had Isis, Osiris, and Horus. They're just playing the same thing over and over again. It was nothing new in this playbook. Please, this playbook has been played so many freaking times. We got 16 crucified saviors. Do you know how many saviors was born on December 25th? Come on now. How many saviors died? Come on. How many saviors had 12 apostles? Come on. And how many saviors rose from the dead after you killed their body? Come on. Come on, people. It was nothing original in this story. I want to make sure everyone understands this. Please share this with Christians, and please ask Christians to just read 16 crucified saviors. There's 16 Jesuses all over the world, different places, different times. Now, they go into the Council of Nicaea in a closed room. They make up what we believe. Now, how sinister is that? How sinister is that? I want you to understand how sinister is that. I hope some sleepyheads here. Oh my goodness, Michelle, thank you for the share. Everyone smash up the share, smash that like button, smash up the shares, and please subscribe And please get this information into anyone who wants to be free. Get this information in front of anyone who wants to be free. Let's go further. So now they come out of the Council of Nicaea. This is what you believe. Behold, this is what you believe. Huh. Read it. Pull up the Nicene Creed. Read it for yourself. It tells you this is what we believe. We, you include me in that? Yes, you and everyone. Why does this have to go for everyone? Because we said so. Well, what makes you say so? Because we wrote it on this scroll that I'm now the vicar of God on earth. Oh, you just promoted yourself? Yes. But aren't you a man just like everybody else walking around? Yes. But I have the pointy hat. Do you see I have a pointy hat? No. I'm not poking fun at the Pope. I have most respect for all ministers. Do you understand how this thing unfolded? Please look at it. And it is common knowledge. I'm shocked that there has not been a mass exodus out of churches yet, because the whole thing was made up. And none of it did Jesus say. I'm here for Christ. Christ didn't make that up. Okay, so they made up, this is what we believe. God, Jesus, he was a man, but he was God too. What did Jesus say? Jesus said, you are also one with me. You and I are one, just as I and the Father are one. We are all children of God. Didn't he say the kingdom of heaven is within you? He didn't tell you you need a clergy or a priest or a Catholic, anyone to connect you with God. Well, we're going to be the ones in charge of God now on the planet. Wow. They co-opted God. They went into a room and co-opted God. We own God now. The only way you're going to get to God is through us. So now all the money has to come to us. All the obedience has to come to us. And this is what you believe. That was the Council of Nicaea. This is what you believe. Can you understand how dangerous this is? And can you start to see how the tables started turning toward Nicene Christianity? This was a setup for the next step. Let me go to the next step. A setup for the next step. Let's go further. Look at the timeline. You can always rewind this video. You can always take screenshots. Feel free to share. Do the research for yourself. Believe nothing. Study to show thyself approved. Now, after the Council of Nicaea, this is what we believe. Constantine, I don't know if anyone knows this because I didn't know this until I looked into this. Constantine commissioned the creation of 50 Bibles. 50 Bibles, okay? 50 Bibles. And in his Bibles, he only had the 4 Gospels. You see, they wanted to do away with all these Gospels, like the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. No, we can't have women in it. All the women are just, no. Whereas we know that a religion without a goddess is halfway to atheism. No, we can't have women up in here. No, it's got to only be men. You have a penis, then you can be a pope. You have a penis, then you can be a bishop. If you don't have a penis, you can't play on this playground. Wow. Not only did y'all co-opt God, tell us what we believe, you just took the women and just got rid of them. Penises, this is a penis-only club for rulership. Now, you can be in here, but you're going to be ruled over by a man. Your husband, the bishop, the pope, just all got to be men. Wow. Now, let me dissect that little part of it. Yeah, I have to get ready for this one. Let's go across to the Gnostics. And the Gnostics was a sect also of Christianity, or a flavor of Christianity, we could say. And what did the Gnostics know and hold and know is true? Gnosis, know. A Gnostic is one who has gnosis, knowledge of what? Oneself. When you know yourself, you know the whole universe. What did the Gnostics teach? You don't need an intercessory or an intermediate to get to God, because the Gnostics said that there was a shard of God in every being. Woo! But Nicene Christianity set it up where it is today. This was a setup that, no, you can't get to God. You're dirty. You're dirt, born in dirt. You're sinful. You need saving. There's a devil, and you're only going to get saved through Jesus. And Jesus only talks to us with the pointy hats and the regalia. Do you see my big gold cross? That's the story. That's the story that a billion Catholics follow. That's the story that millions, billions, millions more, I think it's total billion people on the planet that are Christian. That's the story they follow. Without asking questions. They swallowed it, line up, just like your wafer for your communion, blood of flesh of Jesus, blood of Christ. God bless you. I have to get the wafer from you. No one told you that you are the flesh of Christ. You're the body of Christ. But you're going looking for a person, a man outside of you to put a wafer in your mouth so you can cleanse yourself of your sins. And drink some grape juice to represent the blood of Christ when the blood of Christ is running through your veins. It's a good story, though. It's a very good story. Let's go further with the Gnostics. Not only did the Gnostics know that ye are gods, the Gnostics also knew that Mary Magdalene, oh, it's about to get hot in here. Wait a minute, I gotta put a little bit more lipstick on because my lips is getting a little, wait a minute. Okay, I'm good now. It's about to get hot. Wait a minute. Y'all know how crazy Reverend Val is, but anyway. Baby, if you think they got me on the heretics list now, wait till after this video. Oh my goodness, the Christian witch. You know, somebody told me they were talking to a coach the other day, and the lady said, yeah, Valerie Love. And it was like, the Christian witch? Yeah, that one. Oh, okay. Like, uh-oh. If you look up Christian witch in the dictionary, you'll probably see a picture of me with a pointy hat standing like, yeah, what, and? Because let me tell you, I stand on truth. I'm not concerned with what these people say. Not concerned with what, I'm concerned with what every prophet that has ever come from God is concerned with. Freeing people's minds, breaking the captives free. Woo, preach the release to the captives. That's my job. Preach a release to the captives. And the ones who want to come out. And the ones who like it there and want to stay, please stay. Please stay, because you're not ready to come out yet. Because you have to be ready, and you can't put new wine in old wineskins. They will surely burst. Okay. The Gnostics also held, here's where it gets spicy, that Mary Magdalene was the divine counterpart of Jesus the Christ, Yeshua ben Joseph, and that in the Gospel of Mary, he confided in her things that he never taught to anyone else. Oh my God. Come on, Michelle, I love it. Focus, guy, how you love it? Sky. Ooh, it's about to get hot in here. Mary Magdalene, I'm going to say that again, was the divine counterpart, yin, yang, masculine, feminine, was the divine counterpart of Yeshua ben Joseph and was never a whore. Now, the Catholic Church, I put this in 13 Signs You're a Witch. Pick the book up and please do leave reviews. Thank you for all the books you've purchased. Thank you. I love you. How to Be a Christian Witch is always a hot seller, sells every day. Thank you. Please do leave reviews for all of our beautiful community all over the world, millions of people. Mary Magdalene, whose reputation was attempted to be completely marred and blackened by a bishop who called her a whore. No. What did the Gnostics know about Mary? That Mary was the first apostle. I said it. Apostle Mary. Boom! I could end it right now. Mic drop on that one. Apostle Mary. Did you ever hear that? Apostle Mary, or Reverend Val, heresy. Heresy. I'm sharing with you the Gnostic understanding. And I really believe that the Gnostics, this is my own personal take on it. You get to make up your own decisions, right? I'm just sharing information. You get to make your own choices. I feel that the Gnostics intuitively were closest to Jesus' message than Nicene Christianity. What you have now is Nicene Christianity, meaning the bishops with the big pointy hats got rid of the women, got in the room, made up what you believe, and came and brought it to you. You need clergy, you need saving, you're the dust of the earth. There's another crucified Savior to add to the 15 we already had. This is the 16th crucified Savior. We have all of that. That's right. Eastern Orthodox Church never associated Mary with a prostitute. That's exactly right. She was not a prostitute. Okay? Absolutely. Alma, and the reason that Christianity, Nicene Christianity, which is a Christianity we have today, Nicene Christianity, why did it take so much from the pagans? Because once again, we had Emperor Constantine. He wants to get all the people together. He wants to unify all these people under his kingdom. So he's bringing the pagans, he's bringing everyone together, and he did a beautiful blend. And that's why you have so much paganism in Christianity. Woo, child. Come on, Alma. Alma, you know how we have to do. This is about truth. And guess what? People didn't like what Jeremiah was saying either, and they didn't like what Isaiah was saying either. And please, family, look it up. For any Christians here, look it up. Just start asking questions. Look it up. Study to show thyself approved. Okay, let's go further. So Mary Magdalene, not a whore. It took about 1,000 years for the Catholic Church to recant their lie, attempting to desecrate the honor of Mary Magdalene and her elevated status. Who was the first person that saw Christ after he resurrected from the dead? Anyone? Who was the first person who he appeared to after he raised from the dead? Who was the first person? Who was the first one? That ought to tell you right there. He did not appear to Peter first. He did not appear to James and John first. He did not appear to anyone other than Mary of Magdala. Mary is the first one he appeared to. And when she came the next morning, and it said, this is right in the Bible, if you read it carefully and you read it and get the energy of it. I always was curious about this part of the Bible where it says that Mary, that's right, it was Mary. All y'all know the Bible. Do you remember when she thought he was the gardener? She said, where have they put my Lord? And because he was in a different form, right? After his death. And she thought he was the gardener. She did not recognize the form he had taken on. And he said, Mary. And the way he said it, she was like, and she just grabbed him and was hugging him and holding him and kissing him. And he was like, she fell upon his neck. That is a term of endearment, love, intimacy, a bond. There was a bond between Jesus the Christ, Yeshua ben Joseph, and Mary Magdalene that has completely been obliterated, eliminated from all Christianity, and that is a travesty. What a tragedy. What a tragedy. Because you're missing what he told Mary. Wouldn't you want to know what he told Mary? Look it up, Gospel of Mary. But I'm going to show you all the missing Gospels in a moment. So that's what you had brewing over still in Egypt. You had the Gnostics. But going down to Rome, these people were out of control. Let's fast forward to 367, and then we're going to wrap it up with some things. Let's fast forward to 367. So now we see how this thing has been building, okay? I Googled Christian Witch incognito mode and clicked on images, a bunch of your books at the top, and there is indeed a picture of you with a pointy. I'm doing my job. Thank you so much for that. Would you watch that Black Rabbit? Oh my God. Isn't it so sweet, Black Rabbit? You know, it's all in the Bible, you know, that they had this tender moment at the cemetery. And then he gave her the instructions. There was this tender, beautiful moment. And then he gave her the instructions on what to do. And she followed through. This is the first apostle. Okay, let's fast forward. Now we're going to go to year 367. We are now 334 years or so after the death of Christ. What are the pointy hats dudes doing now? Okay. Hey, Soul Whisperer. I love it. Marcia, it's so good to see you too. So good to see you. Now, what are they doing? And if you just joined us, please do make sure you rewind to the entire beginning of this video so you can get the entire timeline. We're going to come off screen share in a moment after we show you all these missing gospels. Now, in 367, what happened? Well, in 367, Saint Athanasius has written a letter. And what is the letter that Saint Athanasius wrote? This is called a festal letter. Look it up, Festal, festal letter number 39. Now, I believe Saint Athanasius wrote, he's now a saint, but when he was in life, he was a bishop. He was the Bishop of Alexandria. So this Bishop of Alexandria, who is now Saint Athanasius, he wrote out, look at how the timeline is. Look what's happening across the timeline. I want you to understand what's happening here. See, the Bible didn't just spring out of nowhere all of a sudden. It was a development, and it was a willful elimination of others. Here's the big willful elimination in 367 AD. In 367 AD, Saint Athanasius, who was then the Bishop of Alexandria, the Bishop of Alexandria, wrote a festal letter number 39, in which he decreed these are the books of the Bible. And he named only the 4 Gospels. And look at what he said now. Everything else is heresy. Do you see the development of this now? Now, didn't we say back here that there were how many Gospels in circulation? Over here in the year 200. In the year 200, we had over 50 Gospels in circulation. Now, about 100 years later, or really 160 something years later, after the Council of Nicaea, which is the setup of this is what we will believe. Do you understand that things don't just happen overnight? There's a progression. There's a trajectory. One emperor does something, the next emperor comes and builds on it. Saint Athanasius in 367, yet another pivotal moment in Christianity's history. He wrote the letter that's like, everything else is out. Gospel of Mary, out. Gospel of Thomas, out. All them other books y'all got circulating all out. We're burning them. They're heresy. Over. Wow. Now, I always find it very fascinating when people tell you don't read something. Because when people tell you don't read something, rest assured that is the first thing you need to go straight to and read. Then what happened in 380? In 380, Emperor Theodosius made an edict, officially making Nicene Christianity the official state religion of the Holy Roman Empire, marrying the church and the state. Hello, all under the rulership of the empire. And everyone else, this is the setup for everyone else to be killed, burned, tortured. This is the setup for holy wars. This is the setup for all of the crazy foolishness that you have afterwards that eventually plunged humanity into the dark ages. Now, I believe Christ knew all this was going to happen. Why? Because Christ is the keeper of the age of Pisces, the Piscean age of the fish. Fast forward to now, what do we have? We have the dawning of the age of Aquarius, the first energy currents of the age of Aquarius, the first beams from the star system Sirius hit us last year on the Lion's Gate 8/8/2020. Because we had this tremendous Lion's Gate energy, you saw what 2020 was like. Christ knew this was going to happen. And we plunged into the dark ages many years after this. Okay, now, here's what you want to look at. Now that you understand where these things came from. In 1886, The Berlin Codex was found. What did it include? 4 books that you probably have, I had never heard of it until I started doing my research. The Gospel of Mary, the Apostle Mary, right? The Apocryphon of John, the Sophia of Jesus Christ, and the Epitome of the Act of Peter. Next, let's go to 1945, the Nag Hammadi Library. So if you look up the Nag Hammadi, we understand when they found the Nag Hammadi Library, we got 52 more works that are in the Nag Hammadi Library. Now let's go and let's just look at a list. How about we just look at a list of Gospels? And this is a simple Wikipedia search. I did this on Wikipedia, which I don't trust everything on Wikipedia. I wouldn't rely on it because, as we know, not everything is absolutely accurate on Wikipedia. Okay, here's the list of Gospels. However, I think you can use it for a good jumping off place. And then after you find the jumping off place, you want to go deeper and look into your scholarly research and look at it. But let's look at some of these Gospels. You tell me if you've ever heard of any of these Gospels. Here we go. The Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Marcion, the Gospel of Basilides, the Gospel of Truth, the Gospel of the Four Heavenly Realms, Gospel of Mary, Gospel of Judas. Some Christians would not even think it. Gospel, look at this, Greek Gospel of the Egyptians, Gospel of Philip, Pseudo Gospel of the 12, Gospel of Perfection, Coptic Gospel of the Egyptians, Gospel of the Hebrews, Gospel of the Nazarenes, Gospel of the Ebionites, Gospel of the 12, Armenian Infancy Gospel, Protevangelium of James, Libellus de Nativitatis. Okay, Gospel of the Nativity of Mary, which is fascinating. Oh my God. Gospel of Pseudo Matthew, History of Joseph the Carpenter, Infancy Gospel of Thomas. We've talked about that in prior shows on Christians you've been lied to. Latin Infancy Gospel, Syriac Infancy Gospel, Gospel of the Lots of Mary, Gospel of Peter, Gospel of Eve, Gospel of Mani, Gospel of the Savior, Coptic Gospel of the 12, Secret Gospel of Mark, Gospel of Matthias, Gospel of Cerinthus, Gospel of Apelles, Gospel of Valentinus, Gospel of the Incritites, Gospel of Andrew, Gospel of Barnabas, Gospel of Bartholomew, Gospel of Hesychius. I hope I'm saying these names right. Gospel of Lucius, Gospel of Marinthus, an unknown number of other Gnostic Gospels not cited by name, Gospel of the Adversary of the Law and the Prophets, Memoirs of the Apostles, Harmony of the Synoptic Gospels, and then there are some other fragments. Would it suffice to say, Christians, you've been lied to? And that's today's episode. Any questions, boys and girls? Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Any questions, boys and girls? Would you say that there's a lot we haven't been told? Would you say that there's room for us to do our research and show ourselves approved? Would you say that there's a lot that we must uncover about the Christian church? Robert said, love you too, soul whisperer. How you loving? Robert said it right. He said those gospels weren't supposed to have ever been found. How did they come to the light? Because truth always comes to the light. How did they come to the light? Because truth always comes to the light. They were burning books and throwing books away and getting rid of the Alexandrian library, burn the Alexandrian library. Oh, they were getting rid of everything. So they thought. And now here you are in the 21st century, and you can read them all. This is what I do. Go to pseudepigrapha.com, pseudepigrapha.com. I love pseudepigrapha.com, and start there. Just read every book on the list. Fascinating. Things they've never told you about what was cut out of the Bible, what was eliminated from the Bible. And will you post a good link for the Gospel of Mary? Yes, I will. Because there's books of the Gospel of Mary, and I'm so happy. I want to tell you something else about Gospel of Mary and Mary Magdalene. If you go, I think there was a show on Netflix or one of those, where they showed you bas-reliefs that were on ancient temples, and you saw Christ and Mary together, and you saw stained glass, and it was Christ and Mary together. Yeah, pseudepigrapha.com. That's right, Marlo. If you hide truth, then you hide God. But the thing is, that's right. It won't stay hidden for long, right, Black Rabbit? Fascinating, isn't it? So when Christians come at you, Christian witches, I say this not to be argumentative and not to tear down anyone's religion. I don't tear down religion. I don't tear down anyone and anything anyone does. I say, know what you're doing. If you're in the Christian church, understand where your church came from. And I know what people will say. Well, Baptist is not that. We're not Catholic. You're not Catholic, yet you were hatched out of that Nicene Christianity. That's your mother. Baptist people, Protestant people, Methodist people, Lutheran people, people that hate on the Catholic Church is your mother. You must understand your origins. If you do not understand your origins, you cannot know where you're going, and you cannot know yourself because you don't understand your origins. And that's the word for today. Wow, I'm blown away. I'm blown away at all of y'all for being here in this conversation today. I'm coming to you from my beautiful new office here in Merida, Mexico. I wore red today because I was looking like a cardinal. I'm watching the Borgia. I'm watching the Borgia on Netflix, and I'm like, these Roman people are so freaking lustful, bloodthirsty, and crazy. And this is where Christianity came from. And you don't think there's anything wrong with it. We're not having that. Not on my watch. I love you. God bless you. Casey out. ValerieLove.com and ChristianWitches.com for the books and everything else. Happy to be of service to you. Peace. Casey out.